Coming to you live from Florida's Turnpike. Welcome to Duggar Time. Everybody in the car is laughing at me. It does not matter. I have not given you guys an episode in a hot minute, in a long time, in several weeks, for many reasons. But here we go. I'll give you 7 things about the Duggars on the road on my way to vacation. Otherwise, this video is never going to get done. Pay attention. If you haven't clicked that subscribe button, do me a favor and do it already. If you like Duggar content, do me the favor, click like. Now, where are we here with the Duggars? Oh, so much has happened. And the reason why I hadn't made a video is because I really didn't want to comment on it. And I didn't want to comment on it. Oh, look, here comes the good lighting because a truck is blocking. But here comes the bad lighting again. It's okay, guys. You'll live. You'll live. You really don't need to see my face. You just need to listen to my voice. Pay attention. I didn't really want to comment on this stuff because it was really all rumors. And I really don't like to spread rumors if there's a chance they could be false. And I really don't want it to sound like I'm snarking on them or anything like that. But a lot of the things have been confirmed through various sources and through my own investigations. So here we go. Let's just start talking first about Jed. Jed is getting married. We're getting married. No, I'm not marrying Jed. Jed is getting married. We're not getting married. Jed is getting married to Katie Nakatsu. Okay. Katie is from Arizona. She's from the Nakatsu family. It was a very interesting history of it all. How did we find out about Jed and Katie? Ah, yes. First of all, it was the leaked pictures that started coming out. Leaked pictures and then leaked engagement announcements started coming out. A source that was invited to the wedding started sending it out, started sending the invitation out to people. I don't know how that's cool. You gotta vet your friends and people that you invite to your wedding. Here's what I know about the wedding. The wedding's gonna be live streamed, okay? The wedding is gonna be live streamed on April the 3rd, okay? And that does fall in Holy Weekend. It's the Saturday before Easter. Saturday between Easter and Good Friday. Kind of an interesting day to get married. And this wedding is happening very fast in comparison to the last Duggar wedding. So the last Duggar wedding was Justin and Claire's, and that happened in February, right? And now we're getting another wedding in April. I remember Jana once saying, like, please, we need at least like 6 months between weddings. And then at some point that like got cut down to like 3 months between weddings. There's 2 months between weddings. And I know that Jana and Laura didn't do a lot for the last wedding. They had kind of like, they had a lot going on the Spivey side where they were taking care of things, where Hilary was taking care of things. You know, like they didn't do like the dress like the Duggars always do through Renee. So a lot of things were taken care of on the Texas side, although Hilary did post pictures where Laura was kind of coordinating the ceremony rehearsal, so maybe she was coordinating that part. And this wedding, this new wedding of Jed and Katie, is going to be very different than the other Duggar weddings. This wedding is not going to be like everybody's invited to come into the church and into the reception. It's going to be done mainly via live stream. So it looks like the wedding party is going to be there, probably very close friends and family are going to be at the actual ceremony, probably just like immediate family, and then everybody else is going to watch the wedding via live stream. And some people are wondering, why is this the case? Well, number one, you know, obviously we're still in the midst of a pandemic. Now, Justin and Claire did have not a mega wedding, but they had a moderately large sized wedding, smaller than a usual Duggar wedding from what we could see. They decided to go ahead and go through with their wedding, and yeah, I always thought they were going to get married in February, and they did. They've been together for some time, so I think that they just weren't going to wait anymore, just because, you know, they were dying to get married, and they were ready to go. So like now with Jed and Katie, why so fast after Justin's wedding? I have no idea. Maybe they had already been talking about it for some time too. But the issue with the live stream, not the issue, but the reason why I think they're doing live stream is this. Obviously the pandemic and everything. I think, you know, Jed's a politician, and he wants to be, he wants to run for office again in the future. if he were to have a huge super spreader wedding in the midst of a pandemic, I don't think it would look good for him in the future when he runs for office again. They're going to be like, how can you trust this guy? So I think that's part of it. Some people also say that it's because of TLC, because TLC is going to film it, and TLC won't film a wedding that is, that has so many people in it, because it puts their cast and crew at risk, which is also a possibility. It looks like Justin and Claire's wedding was not filmed by TLC, and it could have been for that reason. So maybe that's a part of it. It seems odd that something that is live streamed is then going to be recorded for TLC, because a bunch of people are obviously going to be recording pieces of it. It's not like a Duggar wedding normally where they can control who's photographing things and who's recording things. It's like, like a concert, like you can, or like you're at a movie theater and you're like, no flash photography, no recording, and people are there watching you. Nobody's watching what you do at home. So I'm sure people are going to screen record, and we're going to have clips of this wedding floating around very, very soon, which is like a nightmare for TLC. So I think the TLC reason is less, and I think it's more about Jed's political aspirations. That's my opinion. Jed and Katie seem like a nice couple. There's been rumors that this wedding was arranged somehow, that their relationship was arranged somehow. I don't know anything about that. I guess I hope we'll find out more about their story when Counting On comes back. I hope we'll find out more about Justin and Claire when Counting On comes back. Here's something interesting. Counting On is coming back. Counting On is coming back on Tuesday, March 30th, and we are so hyped about this. And did I not say in my last video, Counting On will be coming back? I bet. Go back, I have receipts. I said that I bet we get an episode at the end of March. Now, I was right about that. And I didn't have any insider information. This is just in my brain, how it worked. What I was wrong about was that I figured it would be Justin and Claire's wedding special, but it's not. It's going to be the birth special for Joe and Kendra's third child, Brooklyn. Everything in the show makes no sense. Okay, listen, pay attention. Before Brooklyn was born, we had Evie Joe born, and we haven't gotten a birth special for them. We got like a TLC Me mini episode type thing. It's not even a real episode. That was never even like aired on TV. I don't understand. Okay, so then it says in the synopsis of the show that we're going to have baby Brooklyn being born, and they're going to be celebrating Easter, and then the family's going to get together for an Easter brunch to meet the baby. The thing is that Easter hasn't happened yet, and Easter this year won't be happening until after the show airs, right? Okay, like the weekend after the show airs. So, how did they celebrate Easter already? My assumption is that maybe this was recorded last year, and this is the Easter footage from last year. The Counting On episodes that we got, like last summer and into like September, were all recorded previous to that. Remember, they were like celebrating Ginger's birthday, and that was like December. Oh my, here comes the sun. I feel like the Beatles. Okay. Oh my goodness gracious. Let me see how oh, there we go. I can block it now. Perfect. Okay. So like they're like super behind in what they show us on the show. So there wasn't anything around April that we saw in season 11. So my assumption is that the Easter activities that they're showing are from last year. But I could be wrong. They could be inventing. They could be capping. Listen. They capped last spurt. My phone. Good Lord.
Bloopers.
Try this for the 15th time. Anyways, they're capping all the time on the show. They're inventing things, inventing events and things like that. So they could just be like doing like a fake Easter beforehand. But it sounds so odd. Why wouldn't they premiere that episode the following week then if they wanted us to believe that it really was Easter? Everybody knows that Easter hasn't happened by March 30th, TLC. So we could have made it a Valentine's Day thing. They're celebrating Valentine's Day, St. Patrick's Day. I don't know. Something that's already previously occurred. I don't know. TLC thinks we're stupid. Like, I genuinely believe that TLC thinks we're stupid. But whatever. Counting on us coming back, and we're hyped about that. Because, you know, maybe we'll see our favorite people on the show. I'm excited about that. That could happen. Oh, look, good lighting because we're passing by a truck. It's going to be gone in a second. I like the truck now. Oh, what a great lighting that I have here in this car. Anyways, so now I'm going to give you a little bit of information about a bunch of rumors that have been coming out. Possible courtships, okay? Because the Jed thing has been confirmed by various sources, including Jed's best friend. What has not been confirmed are all these courtships that are coming out. Number one, Jeremiah and Hannah Wissmann. Hannah Wissmann's part of this family, all the Wissmann family. They're a bunch of musicians. They live in Nebraska, all right? And they are friends of the Duggars. So what I don't like about the truck is that it makes a lot of noise, but it gives me good lighting. Whatever. Okay, and shout out to the Wissmann sisters for always checking out my stories. We appreciate you over on my page. Blessings. Thank you for stopping by. Next time you can leave a like on one of the pictures. I mean, you can subscribe. And any of those things are fine. So, supposedly Jeremiah and Hannah are seeing each other. That's been a rumor. It's been floating around for a little bit. Now, the newer rumor is about Jana. So the other rumor that's floating around is about Jana and Hannah's brother. Hannah's brother, Stephen Wissmann. We're getting a lot of noise and a lot of stuff about Jana and Stephen Wissmann. Now, here's why I didn't want to talk about this a few weeks ago when the news came out. Because Jana is always rumored to be dating somebody when she's sitting next to somebody. When she's sitting next to a guy, people are like, oh, they're dating. When people say their name in the same sentence, they're like, oh, they're dating. And it's never true. I think this has some kind of teeth. All right? Number one, because the Wissmann sisters are stalking my page. And my page is mostly about Jana. So I don't know what dirt they're trying to find out. What they're trying to scope out about Jana. And who she is. And what she's done. And what people are saying about her. But they're obviously looking for things. They're looking for information. Obviously, the Wissmann sisters are looking for something. Number two, you know, the Wissmann family did password protect their blog so people wouldn't go and like start digging through pictures and things like that. Okay. So I don't know if I believed it 100% until then, but I do kind of believe it now because I did a little bit more digging. There's a picture that the Duggars took when they were in Magnolia. It was like a big group picture. I think I talked about it in the last video. Anyways, Jana and Laura are standing next to each other, but there are guys standing behind Jana and Laura. So there's a man standing behind Jana who looks a lot like Steven. And then there's a guy who's standing a little bit behind and to the side of Laura. And people are like, oh, so is that Laura's boyfriend? And so I did some digging and I think I figured out who it was. And I don't know. I think I found this page. And the patterns and the timeline and everything fits, okay, for these two to be dating these guys at the same time, and the guys have the same name. I'm not going to share too much about the guy because this is speculation on my part. And the stuff about Steven is also speculation, but I just think that it all fits. And can you imagine they both marry guys named Steven, and oh my, the web just keeps getting more tangled. But I will say that Laura's Steven looks like a nice guy. I'm reserving my thoughts on Stephen Wissmann until I know more about him. I need to see him like speak or something. I don't know. I've only ever seen pictures of him. But either way, you know, there could be exciting things on the horizon for Jana and Laura. And we'll see how things go. Interesting tidbit. Let's take a sidebar. Let's go back to Justin and Claire's wedding because Hilary Spivey's been posting a lot of pictures. Remember last time I said I don't think that Jana was in the wedding party? And Hilary's posted more pictures. And no, it doesn't look like Jana was in the wedding party. She posted a picture, it looked like, of all the bridesmaids because they were standing like in the rehearsal. And it was Hilary, who's Claire's mom. We know that she was the maid of honor. Abby Duggar, John's wife. Gary Ann, who is Hilary's sister, so the aunt of Claire. Paige, who is Claire's sister, and Hanny Duggar. Now, there could be more people. Like, maybe that wasn't the complete, like, wedding party. I don't know. Maybe there was more people. But that's what we saw, like, so far. Now, I will say that she posted a lot of pictures, like, from the rehearsal and things like that. So we got a lot of pictures of Laura from at least the rehearsal side of the wedding. Sorry, we're a little bumpy right now because we're in Florida and we can't take care of our roads. There are 0 pictures of Jana that have been posted from that wedding. Like, literally 0. None. And we know that she was there. So are they not posting those pictures because she was with Steven the whole time? Curious. I don't know. Somebody else said that the Spiveys don't even know the older Duggar sisters. Like, there's no relationship with Jana, Jessa, Ginger, Jill. Jill was at the wedding. Ginger was at the wedding. But I know that Jana and Laura were there for the, like, engagement party that they threw for them. So it's not that they don't know each other. I'm sure there has to be a picture of Jana somewhere at that wedding. Just nobody's posted it yet. And we know that she was there. I'm just trying to tell you what's going on here in Duggarland. Pay attention. You don't like it, you can change the channel. Unsubscribe. Do me the favor. Alright? People in the car can't unsubscribe to me.
I'm going to wipe your iPad because from here, I can see all the fingerprints.
Thank you. No news from the peanut gallery. Okay, so there's that. Jana and Steven, Laura and Steven, Jeremiah and Hannah. What am I looking at? Oh my gosh, the car next to me is from Indiana. Guys, let's go! I don't know, what do you say about, like, you know, in Alabama you say roll tide. You know, Arkansas you say woo pig suey. Indiana, something about the Hoosiers. I don't know. We love you, Laura. We love Indiana.
Boom, Indianapolis 500.
Boom, Indianapolis 500. Start your engines. I don't know, that was embarrassing. Okay, listen, we love Laura because we love Indiana. Because Laura's from Indiana. Pay attention. Okay. And somebody on my last video told me I need to stop talking about Jana and Laura. Please be done. That's like my whole brand. It's like my whole content is about Jana and Laura. It's framed about everything that we talk about with the Duggars is about Jana and Laura. Stop. If you don't like it, you don't have to watch your channel. Thank you. Be done. Now, next. Sorry, I got excited for a second. We talked about Jeremiah and Hannah. We talked about Jana and Steven, Laura and Steven. Supposedly Jason might be dating, courting someone, but we don't know who it is. So we don't have any other information about that. But Jason, I've always said that Jason is a catch. He's for sure a catch. I mean, we like Jason. So I'm happy for Jason. And I had like a thought, like maybe like the quarantine is getting to people. Like it's quarantine fever, like in that Duggar house. And all of a sudden, everybody needs to get out of that house. Like we all need to start dating and getting engaged and get out because we're just tired of being with the same people all the time. I don't know. Maybe. It could be. I want to talk a little bit about this channel, my page, if I'm going to keep running it. I don't know, over the past few weeks I guess I've thought about it a lot, and at some point I thought I was just gonna delete all these YouTube videos that I've done of Duggar Time, and that this is gonna be the last episode, just because when I started like my fan page and everything, my intention was to do a good thing. Alright, so my intention was to do something positive and encouraging for the girls, and something that might have a positive effect on just the trajectory of not only their lives, but you know, I don't know, I guess anybody who's watching. And sometimes I feel with the timing of things that have happened that maybe my page has caused more harm than good, because it's made people confront situations and I don't know, things that they were in, and I feel like a lot has changed since I started my page. Now maybe you're thinking like that I think that I'm like way too important, but there's like so many Duggar adjacent people that follow me and that watch my story every day and that stalk my page, that I know that there's some kind of influence that I have there, and I hope it's a positive one. And so at some point it just felt a little bit discouraging because things were just very weird, like everything that's being so secretive and all the news that's coming out. I know I'm not the catalyst for it, but I don't even want to be like a drop of rain that causes things to go in a negative way. I only want to be somebody that causes things to flow in a positive way. But sometimes I realize things have to flow in a certain way, because sometimes bad things happen, or things that we don't want to happen, so that God can open our eyes. right? To where we really need to be and to what's really meant to happen. I'm just waxing poetic over here. Indulge me a little bit. So, even though we have good intentions sometimes, I don't know. Do we always have good intentions? I think I had to check myself a little bit a couple of weeks ago. Because what started off as an intention for a positive space, maybe sometimes that changes. Maybe sometimes my intentions weren't always 100% pure. Maybe I was worried about getting more followers and getting more interaction subconsciously. And so I'm not going to shut this down, but I'm going to be more careful with what I say and how I say it. I think that I'm always careful with it, and I think that you can't always please everybody. But I do hope that what the message that we're giving out here, it leads to good things. Not convenient things, but good things. Good and convenient isn't always the same thing. I was reminded about this quote, but this is why I think we just need to be careful with what we put out in the airwaves. So there's a show called Bones. Love the show. It's my favorite show. Watch it every night still, right? And there's an episode where a guy had some kind of show like this, except there was like a radio show, right? Like an underground radio show. And this is what he said, like at the end of one of his episodes. He said, "A man died this week. By all accounts, he was a good man. Loved his mother, worked hard, shouldered his responsibilities. A man that any of us would be proud to call a friend. I killed him with this microphone. I killed him by going on these airwaves and sharing my rage with you, spreading my rage. Now you can say it wasn't my fault. It was coincidence. I thought about that. Thought about it a lot. The fact is that if it wasn't for me, he might still be alive. I'm so sorry for that. And I remembered something that I forgot over the last few years. That God is not just a God of anger and vengeance. My religious beliefs tell me that Christ did not die in vain, that he died to redeem us all. And I intend to show that this good, simple man also did not die in vain, that he redeemed one angry, shouting man. So these are the last words I will ever broadcast. I hope they're the words you remember the best. Peace on earth." So I don't know if these are the last words that I'll ever broadcast. I think I'll be back. But it does remind me a lot of how much power our words have, and how much what we might say, and we think this is just funny and entertaining, it might affect somebody's life. It might affect the decisions somebody makes. It might affect how one person treats another, because there are more people listening than you think. So I guess I leave you with that. I always remind you guys to be kind, but I guess I'm going to remind you today to be mindful of what you put out there, what you put on social media. And let's make sure that we're always an encouraging voice, and that even if what we're saying is true, it's not always necessary to say it. So I'll leave you with that. I'm not going to leave you with a Bible verse because I think that said it all today, but I'll leave you with my shoes. These are peppers. I've worn these before on the show. Easy peppers. 380s with a lace swap from Slickies. Shout out. Alright. Have a good time, guys. If you guys have not subscribed to this channel, go ahead and do it. If you don't follow my fan page, it's down below in the description box. I'm going to go on vacation, have a good time, so I wanted to put this out there before I go. If you're on spring break this week, also be safe.